Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop.
When I brought home the Armstrong-Blum Marvel No. 5 rod parter, I had no idea that I was going to do a full Scout Crafter fix up and finish on it. But, you know, things move forward at their own pace, and that's what happened to this. I looked at it, and I decided I wanted to put it on a new base. So I made the new base, and I painted the base, and then I looked at the dirty, nasty piece of equipment that I was going to mount to it, and I thought, no, this has got to be cleaned and painted. So that's where we begin here. I have to take it apart. The disassembly was going pretty well right until I got to this point. I thought the bolts spun out. They don't. I spent a great deal of time trying to get those bolts spun out. And they don't spin. Oh, they do spin, but they don't come out when you do it. After trying, unsuccessfully, I decided I needed to give him a dose of 50-50, and thinking at the time, I should have done this first. This'll make it just come right out. Well, that was not a nice idea. It didn't work.
I can't imagine why they would put flats on those if you weren't meant to turn them. Well, there's a gap there now. A little movement. This one does too. Okay, so it's acting like those are actually screwing out. That's a good thing.
If wishes and dreams were pork and beans, none of us would ever go hungry. Yeah, I recognized after a great deal of effort that, no, they're not unthreading at all. So I went and looked on the internet and found Screw and Tools, who had disassembled one of these units, and son of a gun, they don't have threads.
These pins appear to be tapered. So I'm thinking if I push on this end, this copper hammer face in there so I don't damage the end of the thread. I should be able to push that bolt out without damaging it. Thought at first it was threaded in there. Then I got to looking and I found a guy on the internet that had taken one apart. And he beat his out with a hammer. Well, I don't like doing that. Still in there pretty solid. Might just be a press fit on a straight thread. I just keep thinking it's a shoulder bolt. Because the thread, the shaft in there is bigger than the thread. Well, we'll see soon enough. That broke loose and came right out. It is a shoulder bolt. So it draws up solid against the, brings the two plates close together. So there's no adjustment on the width. The only thing you could do is if you wanted to grind some off of this to sharpen it, which looking at this one I can see I don't have to. These shear edges are in great shape. It's a little bit of a feathering on that edge right there, like somebody cut something a little too hard. But the edges on these cutters are nice and sharp. Yeah, looks good. I'll be able to wash these up. Give them a good coat of paint. They will look magnificent. Armstrong-Blum Manufacturing Company, Chicago. Armstrong-Blum has been around since 1904. Marvel came around in the 50s. So I got a feeling these are at least 70 years old. Let's get the last of that little bolt shoved out of there. I think I should be able to tap it out. We'll give it a shot. There's not much left in there holding it. There we go. looking quite nice. Far as I can tell, somebody drilled that out trying to put a bolt in there. Luckily they didn't go too far. There's just cast in notches there, and they wanted to put a bolt in, so they drilled holes through that. Luckily they didn't break off the corners. Not that it would have made it unusable, but you know, you don't want to have things broken. I think a little kerosene will clean that up quite nicely. We might not even have to paint. That paint looks exceptionally good. Okay, on to the next job. This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.